Welcome back to my channel, Scottish Stews, Rants and Reviews, and it's another wrestling story. This one is titled My Match, My Time Working with Xpac. So, another famous face that I've worked with, it was in the Aberdeen Anarchy 2014, and one of the big stars that year was Xpac himself, Sean Waltman, very famous for his ties to D-Generation X and the NWA in his WCW days. He was a guy, I remember when I was very young, I used to go into John Menzies, if you remember that place. I used to grab the wrestling magazines, and the first time I ever heard of Xpac, he was, I think he had a different name, the Lightning Kid, that was it. So I remember seeing it, I was about maybe 10, 11 years old, and I'm looking at this wrestling magazine and I see this new guy in the block, 19-year-old Sean Waltman, the Lightning Kid, and he's doing some crazy moonsault outside. I thought, man, that guy's cool. And then I remember years later, I watched him debut in the WWF, and it was like an enhancement match against Razor Ramon, where he got the win, and then he got known as the 1-2-3 Kid. And then later on, he adapted the Xpac moniker, and has been a big star. So getting told by the Wrestle management that I'd be involved in a match with Xpac was very exciting. Very exciting indeed. So it was going to be a 6-man tag match. So at the time, I'm part of a heel tag team, myself and Damien, and we brought in Chris Archer into the mix to make it the 6-man, and we were collectively known as Revolution. And Xpac was going to be teamed up with Scotty Swift and Mr. P, so two very charismatic characters to work with. And the reason I think a lot of times we do like multi-man matches when you've got a big star, we've done the same Hacksaw and Jim Duggan and so forth, it's because a lot of these guys at this point, you know, they don't have to work hard in a match. The people paying their money are paying to see these stars do their stuff. They don't need to be getting, you know, doing 10, 15 minutes in the match and so forth. So, you know, get a shine, get a hot tag, and go home and take the money. And they deserve that. They've worked hard for years. They deserve that level of recognition. So the day of Aberdeen Anarchy. So I get to meet Sean, and I'd heard about his kind of like abuse issues and stuff. And I'm not saying that was what was going on here, but he didn't look like he was all there, to be honest. And then he looked like an absolute physical mess as well. He was limping around backstage. He didn't look very well. And I was like, man, this guy, can he go? Can he? And there was something wrong. I think someone stole his merch or something annoyed him. So he was really pissed off backstage. And at this point, I didn't know I was going to work the shine with him. So the rest of the boys said, look, Stu, we need you to work the shine with him. I was like, all right, okay, I need to go and plan the shine. So I go to his locker room and he's fast asleep. I'm like, oh man, I'm going to wake him up. So I was like, Sean. He's like, all right, man, what do you want, man? I was like, do you want to maybe plan out the match? I'm doing the shine with you. What do you want to do? And then I swear it was like this transformation in front of my eyes. So this old, disheveled, broken down man, he turned to this young, youthful teenager or young adult again. His eyes lit up like fire. And then he was like, all right, man, so I do a suicide dive. Can you take a suicide dive? I'm like, hell yeah, I can take a suicide dive. Let's do the suicide dive. And he got really excited. So we're talking through it. And then I remember him saying about his spin kick he does. He goes, and you make sure you put your hand up and block it because it's a sore one. I was like, yeah, no worries, Xpac. So we plan out what's going to happen. Then he goes back to sleep. I'm like, all right, okay, cool. So I'm chilling out, you know, do some weights, get myself in shape for the match. So about 10 minutes before curtain time, we gently wake up Xpac again. He's, okay, man, okay, brother. And he's limping around, and I feel so bad for the guy. He's taping up his knees, obviously in a lot of pain. I'm like, man, still, I've got his doubts. Like, we've planned out quite an intricate shine and like quite a bit in the end. I'm like, is he going to manage to do all this? We'll see what happens. So the music hits. Myself, Damien, and Chris Archer come out. I remember Damien's maybe wear some stupid makeup, which I never did again. So he said to me backstage, yes, Stu, it'd be really cool if you could wear the same face paint as me and Archer. And like, my insides were saying, don't do it. But I love Damien, he's my friend, and I respect the guy a lot. So I was like, yeah, okay, sure, I'll do that. And I remember like within like 2 minutes, I think I'd rubbed my eye and it was nipping my eye. So my eye was like watering up. And I'm like this, you know, trying to see what's going on in the curtain and stuff like that. So we come through, we do our entrance. You know, Mr. P does his entrance, Scotty Swift does his entrance, and, you know, a big silence over the crowd. The DX music hits. Boom, here comes Xpac, and like, again, it was that transformation. There was no sign of the broken down guy backstage, no sign at all. He's bounding out, he's giving it a big suck it, you know, chops, running up and down the stage, excited, you know, high-fiving the fans. I was like, holy shit, man, this guy could go, well, let's go. So the match proceeds. We have Damien doing some stuff with Mr. P. Then Scotty Swift does his shine with Chris Archer. So then I get tagged in. I'm doing the whole, I want you. So I point at Xpac. Xpac gets a tag. Crowd goes wild. So I'm a bit bigger. And at this point, I was about 16.5 stone. I was probably at my biggest size, muscly wise. So psychology wise, I was bigger than Xpac. So I asked for a test of strength, which would make sense, because the heel Johnny Alliance would think they could beat Xpac in a physical power. And look at the size difference, I could, most likely. So I go for the test of strength, and then psychologically, Xpac knows that I can beat him. So he goes to go for the test of strength and gets me to suck it. So at this point backstage we talked about, I then boot him in the stomach, slap on a headlock, and then we go for a spot from there. But I'm quite excited, and I just watched this back. It's not really clear, but my memory is telling me this happened. It did happen. So I go for the kick to the stomach, and I hoof him in the balls. I hoof him, X-Pac, in the balls. So I immediately slapped on a headlock, and I immediately whispered in his ear, I'm sorry. And he kind of whispers back, it's okay, brother. So we carry on, and then we do the spot, and then I get lined over the top rope to the outside, and the next part is the suicide dive, and I'm thinking to myself, man, if I blow this, I might as well retire right now and never wrestle again. So he flies out, like trusting me. I catch him perfect. I'm just, oh, thank God. I give him a little tap, and he gives me a little tap. Then the match progresses. And then the spin kick at the end, boom. Yeah, he nailed it. And I put my hand up like he asked me to. But I remember Chris Archer comes in. He gets woofed right in the face. No block, nothing. Woofed. I thought, oh, that must have hurt. So, yeah, we get backstage. The guy was really nice. He was really complimentary. He thanked us for the match. Thanked me for my personal part I did with him. Keeping him safe. And then that was it. So, Shaw Waltman, he kind of caused controversy. But he still got it, and he did back then. This was 2014, and I don't know if he's still wrestling now. Maybe yes, maybe he's not. But what an experience. I've been very fortunate to work with some amazing wrestling stars, and WrestleZone really gave me some amazing opportunities in my career, and it's definitely a highlight. And I wonder if Sean goes back now to the States and say, yeah, remember this guy, Johnny Lyons, Scottish guy, kicked me in the balls, man, kicked me in the balls. I hope not. I hope he remembers me for looking after him and having a cracker of a match. So anyway, that is this week's wrestling story of the week. I hope you enjoyed that insight.